Alright, so this is my first video. I wanted to focus on 2026 being the year for me where I finish old projects. I'm notorious for starting something and then losing steam, procrastinating, literally the king of procrastination, and I put it away. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I'm not saying that I'm going to finish every project, but one project in particular I've been working on and off, was the Major Arcana from tarot cards. I wanted to do my own set, and I started the project. It's taken me so long I couldn't remember the exact date, so I had to go through my Google images, the storage, and find out that it was about 2017, 2018. I first started sketching, and I'm going to post some of those sketches. They're really rough. Thinking about it, 2018 to 2026, it's almost 7.5, almost 8 years to work on a project. And I know that everyone's journey, the way they create, they work at their own pace, but I didn't expect for it to take that long. But I am very proud of the work I've done, and it's time to move on. I want to continue creating, making new work. I just don't want to have any regrets of, man, I should have finished that project. So the tarot cards were my first one to finish. Up next will be my Alice in Wonderland series, where I am the male variant of Alice. I have 4 more in that collection to finish, and then I'm going to move on. And I think that's a good thing. I really do. I don't want to stay stuck on one thing. My brain is always going in different directions. But it's funny how, looking back on those tarot cards, I really was going through that journey. The first card is usually called the Fool, and it's the reader or the person's journey. And different cards, as I was going through them, as I was creating them, I was actually going through some of those issues. So when I was working on it is the Hermit card that represents solitude, getting answers, finding solutions by being alone. And I put myself in that situation where I was alone. When I was going through and reworking designs and getting frustrated, I was slowly finding my momentum, but I eventually got onto the Tower card, which is one that's not the greatest to receive. It's essentially building something on an unstable foundation. And I was feeling at that time, everything I was creating was turning to shit. Everything I wanted to do, it wasn't panning out. And I felt like, did I build my artistic career on an unstable foundation? And I kept it to myself because I was scared. I didn't really know who to talk to, but I kept pushing through. I kept going, no, it's one card. We'll keep the momentum going. And I kept trucking along, kept going, and finishing on the World, her symbolizing new beginnings, a fresh start. I felt that'd be a perfect way to end. And all of my cards, the design aspect, I was influenced very lightly by ancient Egyptian work. So the way my stars are created, the way the wands are created. But with the World, I rarely draw women nude. It's a thing I don't like doing. There's a large proportion of any gallery or museum, most of the work is nude women. I've never had that desire. And so for her to be one of my first fully nude females since my undergrad training, I was very proud to make her a voluptuous, curvy, powerful woman who represents Mother Nature, who is both nurturing and terrifying. A reminder of, she will give you a hug, but you push too far and bad things can happen. But I'm really proud, like I said, of the work. I just want to move on. I think it's time. I never thought that, again, that number, 7.5, almost 8 years, I never thought it was that long. But it's okay. I am teaching myself that it doesn't have to be a race. Why go so fast? Yet, at the same time, I know I could have been a little bit faster, a little bit less distracted. I'm the worst at social media. I fall into those black holes on YouTube and Instagram, and I'll just keep searching, and by the time I look up, there's 3 hours that have went by, and I've created absolutely nothing. But I fell into one where I learned how to make vanilla extract, which is a very interesting skill to have. I don't think it's very useful right now, but it's okay. I'm not going to stress about it, and there's no point in it. But this video, I wanted it to be my first that I really am taking seriously. Again, as I was going through all these old sketches, all these ideas, I thought about a kid who was sitting at his kitchen table drawing with his mom to keep him out of trouble, and to see how much I have progressed. And I know I'm a work in progress. I make mistakes. I am still learning, as we all should be. And when I say that I am proud of my work, I'm not meaning it with an ego. I'm just saying I'm very proud, and I see that I have made a lot of progress, and that I do have a long way to go, and that's okay. I hope this year, my hope is to keep up with, like I said, finishing old projects, starting a couple that are fun, that are new, but not taking it to the point where it's no longer enjoyable. That's the one thing I'm concerned with, is that when you do something you love, there are times where it's probably going to be a little bit of it's going to be a little stressful, but you should still love it. Otherwise, what's the point? I've been in positions and situations where I've been around other artists, and they've said they don't do it because they love it. They do it because they have to. Well, and I was so confused by that, because I know everyone's journey, like I said, is different. But to do it because you have to, I wouldn't have fun. And I want to have fun with my art. So, like I said, this is my first video, taking it pretty seriously as best as I can. My name is Timothy Brown. I draw mainly, but I love all forms of art. Mainly work with the male figure. I love symbolism and iconography. I love the occult and dark, spooky stuff, just because the aesthetic is very interesting. So some people think the world is like peaches and cream and seeing it through rose-colored glasses, and I'm always the one going, let's pull up the carpet and see what's underneath there. But thank you, and I hope you liked this work. Leave me a comment. Introduce yourself to me. Let me know where you're from. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.